Oh, this is just going to be, I hope not too long a video. I don't want to do another 17-minute one. But anyway, yeah, this was hilarious. This story about this staffer that had a meeting, and I think it was on the libs of TikTok too. Where he was upset that this book by Matt Walsh, that's kind of, I ordered it. Yeah, I will admit I ordered the book and read it. It took about probably 3 minutes to read it. And it's called Johnny the Walrus. Anyway, I know that's not very, that very good. But, you know, it's a board book, but actually it's an adult book. It's not really a kid's book. And it's written Dr. Seuss style. You know, that's a real hobby of a lot of people. Because Theodore Geisel had such a sense of humor. And he had such a style and flair about his writing these books that there are a host of imitators. And so this book, which I probably can't, I don't know. Can I do it? Distance? No, that's... Yeah, it looks like that. So I got that like yesterday or the day before yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So anyway, it's like a bestseller under LGB or something in Amazon. Excuse the mess behind there on the counter. That's another video. But anyway, and I wonder, you know, why a walrus? Is Matt Walsh a fan of John Lennon's? You know, I wonder. Because, of course, I Am the Walrus was one of the most beloved Beatles songs way back in the day. My God, close to 60 years ago now. I mean, John Lennon's been dead. This is going on 42 years. Longer than he was alive. But anyway, that story, I mean, I hated that song. I never could stand it. And I remember when I was working at this book distribution warehouse, and I worked in the key entry department, and some co-workers were listening to that because they played radio in the computer room. And so anyway, so we would listen to it, and then somebody said, oh, he couldn't have been sober when he wrote that, you know, and oh, what, you know, crappy lyrics, blah 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 blah. But of course, and I hated this song until I found out the backstory of that song. And the backstory of that song, or at least the urban legend, is that John Lennon was sitting around the house or something one time, and he was listening to Bob Dylan. And he was listening to it, and he just thought, how the hell could a guy like that get away with writing crap lyrics? Utter bullshit lyrics. And he was reputed, John Lennon, was reputed to have said, hey, I can write crap too. So he had this song that there's little bits and pieces, and eventually that became I Am the Walrus. So it made no damn sense. It wasn't supposed to make sense because John Lennon was poking fun at Bob Dylan. And believe me, I cannot stand Bob Dylan. I never could stand him. I never will be able to stand him. So I became a fan of I Am the Walrus. So I'm just thinking why Matt Walsh would pick a walrus as this story about a kid that obviously it's poking fun at transgenderism, so-called gender identity. But why he would pick a walrus for this kid to identify as. So anyway, that's enough of that. But the book came out, I think, in December, and it's been a bestseller, like I said, in the LGB, of all things, sector on Amazon. And just recently all this stuff came out about this woke staffer wanting to pull it out from circulation. That ain't gonna happen. I mean, even if they did, I'm sure the Daily Wire would offer it, and they probably do offer it. So there was that. And then there was a whiny tale of woe about a gay kindergartner teacher in Florida, and he's terrified that he's going to lose his job because of the so-called witch hunt of so-called don't ask gay, or don't say gay. I'll correct it. Don't say gay. And of course, it's about don't talk about sex. It ain't just about gay. Don't talk about sex to kindergartners through 3rd grade. And it should be more than that. It's common sense. Otherwise, you look like a fucking perv if you're sitting there talking about your sex life or talking about sexuality to kids. Apart from some very, 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 very basic stuff. And even that, the parents usually do it. You know, sex ed's usually later on in the deal. And I've already said what I think of sex ed, the way it's currently taught. But anyway, this guy is scared he's going to lose his job. Oh, how terrible. Well, why insert your sex life into the school day, Corey? Why do you need to do it? You know what? Straight teachers don't do it either. They don't sit there and talk about their husbands or wives. They hardly ever talk about that. That's almost never talked about. And a lot of them don't have family pictures there. You can have family pictures there. Nobody gives a shit. But you don't need to talk about your fucking sex life to kids. And you don't need kids to think that they're gay. They don't know their butt from a hole in the ground. These teachers don't know their butt from a hole in the ground about boundaries. And these kids don't know anything really about sex. I mean, if they know more than they should, they probably have been molested in some way. But just keep it out. And if he thinks he's trying to curry sympathy here, mostly if they ask you any personal questions, they don't ask you about that. They usually ask if you have kids. I've been asked that. And that's basically it. It's usually other staff members. I still get asked if I've been married and if I have grandkids and crap like that. I think I've mentioned it before. You know, you still get asked it. I'm 67 years old and I still get asked that crap. But with kids, yeah, I mean, it isn't. You don't bring it in. You don't bring it into the class. Following this interview, a number of negative social media, what did he do? What did he get on there? Okay. These are all questions I've wrestled with. The chilling effect and scare tactics have already hit home. After an interview with a local news station last month about how this law would affect me, I was asked to appear in a live interview on MSNBC. All you had to do was turn down the interview. Duh. Following this interview, a number of negative social media messages, angry calls from my school, cynical YouTube comments, and even TikTok videos attacking me was astounding. Many even use the word pedophile and groomer. To have people describe you in such horrible terms of whom you love, to have someone assume you hurt a child in any way when your lifelong passion has been fostering their growth and education is hurtful and wrong. Yeah, but it's also wrong to insert your sex life into the school day. Don't do it. Don't do it, Corey. You'll have a job forever if you just keep your personal life personal. If you just respect boundaries between kids and adults. It ain't hard. And as I said every state in the country should require ethics courses for teachers before they can get licensed and talk about the importance of boundaries. It's not about don't say gay. It's not about that. It's about leaving kids alone and let them be kids. They don't need to be inundated with adult crap. It's not hard. It's really not hard. But he wants to use it. I think he's a guy that wants to use his classroom as a soapbox. No, it's not a soapbox. It's not a soapbox for political beliefs. It's not a soapbox for your sex life. Keep it out. And, yeah, well, you know, you didn't have to. It's not right that they harassed him. It's not right. But you know, don't do the interview with that. Don't do the interviews in the first place. Don't write articles whining about it. Just go on and do your job, which is teaching kids academics and, you know, related stuff, but keep the sex life out of it. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say.